Hey, Miles here, milesbecker.com. This video reveals the 5-step path to making millions selling courses online. This is essentially the blueprint for a very successful information-based business, and it's just 5 specific steps. Let's jump right in. Step number 1 is to learn how to create a specific valuable result. Now, this usually comes about in one of 2 ways. Number 1, you go learn to create a result for yourself. For example, I learned how to build a business up to $1 million and beyond through the actual business that my wife and I built and run to this very day, right? We learned how to create a specific valuable result by doing it. Now, the other way can often come through professional experience and or also education. I have a good friend who's a criminal defense lawyer, and he went through a very long series of schooling and tests and law school and all that good stuff to learn how to create a result. He didn't put himself in a position where he had to defend himself in that world. He went through a more traditional learning process to kind of understand how to create that result for others. The first main step is to get yourself to a point where you can create a valuable result for others, right? And this valuable result idea, it could be as simple as crocheting. It could be how to crochet a scarf. For some people, that is a valuable result. It could be fitness for horseback riders because that will get them more time on their horse, which is exactly what they want in their life. It could be how to build a racing drone because to a very large group of people out there, that's a valuable result to learn how to build a racing drone. So there's a few ways around that, but the number one thing is to get yourself to a point where you have and can create a result. Step number 2, go help one other person create that result in their lives. As a seller of courses, as a merchant of courses, as a creator of courses, your ultimate job is to create transformation in the lives of others. To help someone go from not having a racing drone, not knowing how to fly a drone, never racing a drone, flying a drone, or anything, all the way to building their first drone, launching it, racing it, flying it, etc., etc. That is a transformation, right? They're going from where they were to where they want to be, and your information helps them get there. So how do you know all of the steps? Well, number 1, you did it for yourself already. But then the question is, well, how do you teach that? How do you help someone else create that specific result? So then you go help one person in a one-on-one setting to create the desired result. And now what you're doing is twofold. You're not only teaching what you did, but you're observing at what steps work, what steps don't work, what confuses them, what makes sense, what steps open them up to large kind of uprises in the development process, and where do they get stuck, where do they get plateaued, etc., etc. So you're observing the process of teaching them and helping them get that desired result, and you're also noting down the actual steps. Again, you're getting more clarity. When we do something for ourselves, we rarely have as much clarity as when we go teach others how to do some. There's that old quote, if you want to master something, teach it. So it's this philosophy, and you just start with one person who wants that desired result and you help them get the result. Part number 3, step number 3 in the process is to go repeat that process 25 to 100 or more times over. Now you really need to master your system. So you've created a result. Now you've helped one other person create the result, and you've been observant of the process that you've taken them through. Now you need to go through that process again and again and again. So my wife, in the early days of her business, she did one-on-one sessions with people over and over to the tune of several hundred of one-on-one sessions between a half hour and hour sessions to help these people have and get transformational results in their lives. And out of this process, she started to learn what the frequently asked questions were, what the common topic areas were, and that became the source for the next step and the source for the ultimate courses that we sell to this day. For me personally, when I was helping my wife grow that business on the side, I was also full-time essentially doing WordPress development, doing search engine optimization, and doing digital marketing for small businesses. So I was not only doing the work for myself and with my wife, I also was bringing on clients, and I built hundreds of websites. I did dozens upon dozens of search engine optimization kind of monthly services, right? I had dozens and dozens of clients who I offered SEO services to, content marketing services to, conversion rate optimization services to. So I was getting that additional experience in this world that I'm now teaching you. I didn't just build the business myself. I went out and helped a lot of local businesses build their businesses as well. And out of that varied approach, you really refine down the system. And that's what you're trying to do in step number 3 is you now have proven that you can help one other person get the result. But now how do we make this efficient? What is the absolute fastest way to help one person get the result? And to do that, you need to test the process. You need to test different steps. You might need to test the order of the steps. And that's why you're repeating this process of helping one person get a result, then another person get a result. It can be simultaneously. You could have 5 or 6 different clients that you're helping get a result at the same time, or you can go through it one at a time. Generally speaking, it's going to take 20 to 100 or more one-on-ones to really get you to the point where you can consistently help people create transformational results that they value in their lives. Okay? At the end of this part, when you're like, I've got it, I've got a system down, people come in, I take them through the boom, 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 and then all of a sudden they get the result they want, they're out, and you're feeling it, you do small groups. And the small groups is really powerful. You can actually kind of build the whole sales mechanism, you could build the whole process and sell it before creating this first variation of what will become your course. This works really well in a 6-week or an 8-week modulated course type fashion. So what you end up doing is you bring in a group of 10, 20, 30, maybe upwards of 50 people. That might actually be a little much, and you take them all through the process at the exact same time. This is the same process that you just refined working one-on-one with hundreds of people potentially. Now you're taking a group through the process. 6-week modulated courses or 8-week modulated courses work wonders. What's a modulated course? Well, generally you have a structure of modules. Each week is a separate module, so it's a 6-module course or an 8-module course, and then there's potentially different lessons within the course. So module 1 or week 1 might have lesson 1, 2, 3. Week 2 might have lesson 4, 5, 6. Week 3 might have lesson 7, 8, 9, etc., etc. And now what you're doing is you're learning how to facilitate this transformation for others in a small group setting. So you'll probably have like a Facebook group, like a little private group for them, so there can be question and answer. You'll deliver the trainings, and you'll probably also do Q&A calls with them. And now what you're doing is, again, you're observing your system when you apply a tiny bit of scale behind it. You're now trying to see what happens when I take this thing, this process that worked with a group of people, and what happened with this process when it worked with individuals when I apply it in a group setting. And you might find that there's points where the whole group gets lost, whereas one-on-one everyone got it. Now in the group setting it's kind of confusing, or there's some sticking points. This is not something you do once and you're done. Generally speaking, you'll need to do this several times over. It works really well if you do it maybe once per quarter or once per trimester throughout the year, so you can repeat this 3 or 4 times throughout the year. If you do this a few times over, you're going to just simmer down and refine the system even more. And what you end up with is your signature system. You end up with a proven way to get groups of people a specific, valuable, desired result. And at this point in time, you're ready to leverage scale, which is part number 5 of this process, is adding scale inside of this process. This is when you can create the click and downloadable kind of course that they get instant access to because of automations, because of shopping carts, because of learning management systems. They are able to click and buy while you're sleeping, while you're doing this, while you're out playing, while you're on the beach, etc., etc. You maybe host weekly calls for them, but it becomes an on-demand model. You're no longer starting a group of students on day 1 and you're walking them through. You can let people come in when the timing is right for them, and you start to work on things like conversion rate optimization on your sales page. You start to work on things like finding joint venture partners who want to mail for you so they can be your affiliates. Maybe you're starting to focus on paid traffic. This is when you can work on scale, because you've proven that you can get a result for yourself, that you can help one other person get a result, then you can help hundreds of people one-on-one get a result, then you can help groups of people at the same time to get the result, and now you're ready to take that out to the world through scale. That is the 5-step process, and when you go through this correctly and you're consistently helping people get transformational results that they value greatly, that is the path to creating $1 million business in the course world online. It's a wonderful business model. It is not as simple as putting together a course, launching out, and going. You need to prove that you can get transformational results for people that they value. This can be in a wide array of subjects and topics, and it's an amazing business model when it works. Please commit to the process, and remember that your number one job as a course creator is to deliver transformational results for other people. Your number one job is not to sell courses. Okay? Your number one job is to help people create transformation in their lives that they value. When you get excellent at that, the courses will sell, the money will show up, the millions will stack up. That has been the path that worked for my wife and I. That has been the path that has worked for dozens of people I know from my inner circle memberships, from my mastermind programs, and literally thousands of you on YouTube who are doing this exact process yourselves. Cheers to you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, get at me in the comments. Thumbs up, like, share, do what you do. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.